Stop these 7 common bedtime. Few things are as frustrating as being jolted awake in the middle of the night by a sharp, painful cramp in your leg or foot. For many people over 50, this becomes a common struggle that steals sleep and leaves muscles sore the next day. What most don't realize is that these cramps aren't just random, they're often caused by small bedtime habits we don't think twice about. The good news is that once you know what to avoid, you can protect yourself from these painful surprises. Tonight, let's uncover the 7 habits you need to stop before bed. If peaceful, cramp-free sleep matters to you, subscribe and join this community of people learning how to age stronger, healthier, and more comfortably. Share this video with someone you care about, because ending nighttime cramps doesn't take expensive treatments, just awareness of what to stop doing before bed. One of the most common but overlooked triggers of nighttime cramps is going to bed dehydrated. Muscles depend on water to function smoothly. Inside each muscle fiber, water helps transport minerals like potassium, calcium, and magnesium that control contraction and relaxation. When the body is short on fluids, these minerals cannot move properly, and the muscles are more likely to seize up during the night. For seniors, this problem is even greater because the natural sensation of thirst declines with age. Many people simply do not feel thirsty, even when their body needs water. Dehydration before bed often happens for simple reasons. Some seniors reduce evening water intake because they want to avoid bathroom trips at night. While this is understandable, it can leave the body too dry, especially after a long day of mild fluid loss through sweating and normal metabolism. By bedtime, the muscles are underhydrated, and the chance of cramps increases. Doctors often explain that a small glass of water in the evening is enough to restore fluid balance without overfilling the bladder. Another reason dehydration is common is that many drinks consumed in the evening, such as coffee, tea, or alcohol, actually increase fluid loss. These beverages act as mild diuretics, pulling water out of the body instead of helping it stay hydrated. Seniors who enjoy these drinks before bed may unknowingly set the stage for nighttime cramping. Replacing them with water or herbal teas is a simple step that prevents both dehydration and cramp risk. The effects of dehydration on muscles are not just chemical but also mechanical. Without enough fluid, blood becomes slightly thicker, and circulation slows. This makes it harder for oxygen and nutrients to reach the muscles. Poor circulation at night means the muscles cannot relax fully, and even a small movement in bed can trigger a painful spasm. Seniors often report that cramps appear suddenly, but in reality, they are the result of hours of insufficient hydration leading up to bedtime. Doctors often suggest checking urine color during the day as an indicator of hydration. Pale yellow suggests proper hydration, while darker shades indicate that more fluids are needed. For seniors, aiming for small, steady intakes of water throughout the day is more effective than drinking large amounts at once. This reduces bathroom interruptions and keeps the muscles supplied with what they need to function smoothly. Practical steps to prevent dehydration-related cramps include drinking a small glass of water with dinner and another a short while before bed. For those with medical conditions such as heart or kidney disease where fluid intake must be monitored, these decisions should be made with a healthcare provider. Still, for most seniors, a modest increase in evening hydration is both safe and effective. Stopping the habit of going to bed dehydrated is one of the easiest ways to reduce nighttime cramps. Muscles that are well hydrated contract and relax more smoothly, circulation improves, and the risk of sudden painful spasms during the night drops significantly. A small glass of water in the evening may seem like a simple act, but it can make the difference between restless nights filled with cramps and peaceful, restorative sleep. Another bedtime habit that silently increases the risk of nighttime cramps is skipping evening stretching. Muscles that remain tight and shortened throughout the day are far more likely to spasm when the body is at rest. Seniors in particular face this challenge because muscles naturally lose elasticity with age. Without gentle stretching, the fibers stay tense, circulation slows, and the sudden stillness of sleep can trigger painful cramps in the calves, thighs, or feet. During the day, walking, climbing stairs, and even light household tasks keep muscles engaged. But as evening approaches, many seniors spend hours sitting, watching television, reading, or resting. This long period of stillness leaves muscles stiff, and when the body finally lies down to sleep, the sudden change in position can cause them to contract sharply. Stretching before bed prevents this by loosening tight muscle fibers and restoring flexibility. Doctors often note that even simple stretches signal the muscles to relax, making them less likely to spasm overnight. The muscles most affected by nighttime cramps are usually in the lower legs. A gentle calf stretch against the wall or by pulling the toes upward while sitting helps lengthen the muscle and prepare it for rest. The hamstrings and thighs also benefit from light stretching, since tightness in these areas contributes to nighttime spasms. Even small movements, such as rotating the ankles or flexing the toes back and forth, can improve circulation and ease tension. Skipping this step has another consequence: reduced blood flow. Stretched muscles allow blood vessels to expand and circulation to improve. This ensures that oxygen and electrolytes reach the tissues, which support smooth contraction and relaxation. Without stretching, circulation remains sluggish, and the lack of oxygen-rich blood increases the chance of sudden cramping. Seniors with poor circulation, varicose veins, or diabetes are especially vulnerable if they avoid evening stretches. Some seniors worry that stretching before bed may take too much time or require difficult movements. In reality, just 5 minutes of gentle, low-impact stretches are enough. These can be done standing, seated, or even lying in bed. The goal is not intensity but relaxation. Doctors advise moving slowly, holding each stretch for 15 to 30 seconds, and avoiding any bouncing or jerking motions. Stretching should feel comfortable, not painful. Another overlooked benefit of evening stretching is its calming effect. When muscles release tension, the nervous system also relaxes, making it easier to fall asleep. Seniors who add stretching to their bedtime routine often notice not only fewer cramps but also deeper, more restful sleep. This makes stretching a double benefit, protecting against painful spasms and promoting relaxation. The habit of skipping stretching may seem harmless, but its effects accumulate over time. Muscles grow tighter, circulation declines, and cramps become more frequent. By reversing this habit and dedicating just a few minutes to gentle stretches each evening, seniors can greatly reduce their risk of nighttime cramps. It is a small, practical step with immediate and noticeable benefits. Another bedtime habit that increases the risk of nighttime cramps is sitting for long periods before going to sleep. Many seniors spend their evenings in a chair or recliner, reading, watching television, or relaxing after dinner. While this feels restful, remaining in one position for too long reduces circulation, stiffens muscles, and sets the stage for painful cramps during the night. When you sit for extended periods, blood flow to the legs slows down. Muscles rely on a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients carried by the blood. Without this, waste products like lactic acid build up, making muscles more prone to spasms. Seniors already have slower circulation compared to younger adults, so long hours of sitting intensify the problem. By the time the body lies down to sleep, the muscles are undersupplied and tense, increasing the chance of cramping. Another reason sitting too long is harmful is that it keeps the muscle shortened. In a seated position, the hips are flexed, the knees are bent, and the calves are not fully stretched. Over time, these shortened positions become the default for the muscles, making them less flexible. When the body finally stretches out in bed, the sudden lengthening can trigger painful contractions, especially in the calves and feet. Doctors explain that muscles held in shortened positions for hours are more reactive when finally moved. This habit also worsens fluid retention. Sitting for long periods allows fluid to pool in the legs and ankles. At night, as the body reclines, this fluid shifts, altering circulation and pressure in the tissues. These changes can irritate the muscles and nerves, triggering cramps. Seniors with swollen ankles, varicose veins, or circulation problems notice this effect more strongly. Breaking up long periods of sitting is one of the simplest ways to prevent nighttime cramps. Doctors recommend standing up every 30 to 45 minutes in the evening, even if just for a short walk around the room. Gentle leg movements, such as marching in place or lifting the heels, help reactivate circulation and loosen stiff muscles. Even small amounts of activity signal the body to keep blood flowing smoothly. For seniors who enjoy watching television or reading at night, adding short breaks is especially important. Standing up during commercial breaks, stretching the calves, or walking to get a glass of water provides enough movement to protect the muscles. These small habits counteract the negative effects of prolonged sitting without requiring heavy exercise. Even seated movement helps. Flexing and pointing the toes, rotating the ankles, or straightening the knees briefly can reduce stiffness and improve blood flow. These movements mimic the natural pumping action of the muscles, which pushes blood back toward the heart. Seniors with limited mobility can rely on these simple exercises to maintain circulation before bed. The habit of sitting too long before bedtime may seem harmless, but its effects are significant. Reduced circulation, shortened muscles, and fluid pooling all combine to create the perfect environment for nighttime cramps. By making a conscious effort to move a little more in the evening, seniors can greatly reduce this risk. The key is not intense exercise but frequent, gentle motion that keeps muscles relaxed and well supplied. A fourth bedtime habit that often leads to nighttime cramps is eating heavy or salty dinners too close to bedtime. While a satisfying evening meal feels comforting, the content of that meal plays a major role in how muscles behave during the night. Overeating or consuming excess salt upsets the delicate balance of electrolytes, sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium that muscles rely on for smooth contraction and relaxation. When this balance is disturbed, painful cramps are far more likely to strike during sleep. Heavy dinners slow down digestion. When the body is busy processing large amounts of food, blood is directed toward the stomach and away from muscles. This reduced circulation leaves muscles undersupplied with oxygen and nutrients during the very hours they need them most. Doctors explain that nighttime is when muscles repair and recover. If circulation is focused on digestion instead of repair, the risk of spasms increases. Seniors with slower metabolism and weaker circulation feel this effect more strongly, which is why late heavy meals often worsen nighttime cramps. Salty foods add another challenge. Sodium is essential in small amounts, but too much throws off the balance with potassium, a mineral that helps muscles relax. High sodium intake causes the body to retain water, leading to swelling in the legs and feet. At night, this fluid shift puts pressure on tissues and irritates muscles, making cramps more likely. Seniors who already deal with high blood pressure or kidney concerns are especially vulnerable to this imbalance. Certain foods are especially problematic in the evening. Processed meats, canned soups, pickled items, chips, and fast foods are high in sodium and low in balancing nutrients like potassium and magnesium. When these foods dominate dinner, the body enters the night with a skewed electrolyte profile. This is why doctors often recommend lighter meals that include fresh vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains instead of processed or salty options. Eating too close to bedtime adds to the issue. The body needs at least 2 to 3 hours to digest a heavy meal properly. Going to bed right after eating leaves the stomach full, keeps circulation focused on digestion, and can even disrupt sleep quality. Poor sleep itself increases the chance of nighttime cramps, since the body misses out on deep, restorative stages where muscle repair happens. Preventing this problem does not require giving up enjoyable dinners, it simply means adjusting portion sizes and food choices. Smaller, balanced meals in the evening reduce strain on the digestive system and keep electrolyte levels steady. Adding foods rich in potassium, such as bananas, spinach, or sweet potatoes, helps offset the effects of sodium and supports muscle relaxation. Drinking a glass of water with dinner also aids balance and circulation. Stopping the habit of heavy or salty dinners before bed is one of the most effective ways to cut down on nighttime cramps. By keeping meals lighter, balanced, and timed earlier in the evening, seniors give their muscles the environment they need to rest and recover without sudden painful spasms. This small change transforms not only nighttime comfort but also overall health. Another bedtime habit that often triggers nighttime cramps is sleeping in a cold room without enough warmth. While a cool bedroom can promote better sleep for some, overly cold temperatures tighten muscles and slow circulation, creating the perfect conditions for painful spasms during the night. Seniors are especially vulnerable because circulation naturally declines with age, making it harder for muscles to stay relaxed in cooler environments. When the body is exposed to cold, blood vessels narrow to conserve heat. This reduces blood flow to the extremities, especially the legs and feet, where cramps most often occur. With less blood reaching these muscles, oxygen delivery drops and waste products build up. This imbalance irritates muscle fibers and increases the chance of sudden contraction. Doctors often note that cramps are more common in winter or in overly air-conditioned rooms, particularly for seniors who already have circulation challenges. Cold also directly affects muscle fibers. Low temperatures make muscles stiffer and less elastic. A stiff muscle is far more likely to spasm when stretched or moved suddenly in sleep. This explains why cramps often occur when someone shifts position in bed. The combination of cold stiffness and sudden movement triggers painful tightening, especially in the calves and feet. For seniors, another factor is thinner skin and reduced body fat, which make it harder to retain warmth. Even if the bedroom feels comfortable to others, it may still be too cold for older muscles. A room that dips below comfort level during the night, combined with bare legs or feet, sets the stage for frequent cramps. The solution is not to overheat the room but to maintain gentle warmth. A room temperature between 66 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit is often ideal, but personal comfort matters most. Light blankets, warm socks, or a soft throw over the legs can provide enough warmth to keep circulation steady. Heated mattress pads or hot water bottles placed near the feet are safe options for those who struggle with cold limbs at night. Doctors also suggest gentle warming movements before bed, such as soaking the feet in warm water or using a heating pad for a few minutes. These practices relax tight muscles, improve circulation, and prepare the body for restful sleep. Once in bed, maintaining consistent warmth keeps those benefits lasting through the night. It is important to note that too much heat can also disrupt sleep. Overly heavy blankets or high room temperatures may cause discomfort or sweating, which can worsen dehydration and indirectly lead to cramps. The goal is balance, enough warmth to keep muscles loose and circulation flowing, but not so much that it causes restlessness. Stopping the habit of sleeping in a cold room without proper warmth is a simple but powerful way to reduce nighttime cramps. By keeping muscles relaxed and blood flowing freely, seniors can prevent the sudden painful spasms that interrupt rest. Small adjustments like socks, light blankets, or a comfortably warm room can mean the difference between a night of cramps and a night of peaceful, uninterrupted sleep. Another bedtime habit that contributes to nighttime cramps is poor sleeping posture. The way the body is positioned in bed has a direct impact on how muscles rest. Certain positions place unnecessary tension on the calves, feet, and thighs, making them more likely to cramp during the night. Seniors often overlook this connection, but correcting posture can make a noticeable difference in preventing painful spasms. One common posture that triggers cramps is sleeping with the toes pointed downward, which happens naturally when lying on the stomach or with heavy blankets pressing down on the feet. Pointed toes keep the calf muscle shortened for hours, and when the muscle finally tries to lengthen, it may spasm sharply. Doctors explain that this plantar flexion position is one of the most frequent causes of nighttime calf cramps. Another problem position is crossing the legs while lying on the side. This creates uneven pressure on the muscles, restricting blood flow to one leg and increasing cramp risk. Similarly, curling into a tight fetal position can cause the hamstrings and calves to remain shortened, setting up tension that may release suddenly as a painful cramp during sleep. Poor pillow or mattress support can also contribute. If the mattress sags or the legs are not properly supported, circulation is reduced and muscles are placed under strain. Over time, this tension builds, and even a small movement in the middle of the night can trigger cramping. Seniors with back or hip issues are especially vulnerable if their posture is misaligned for hours while sleeping. Improving posture begins with awareness. Doctors often recommend sleeping on the back with the feet in a neutral position, supported by a small pillow under the knees. This reduces strain on the lower body and keeps circulation steady. For side sleepers, placing a pillow between the knees prevents crossing and helps align the hips and legs. The goal is to allow muscles to rest in a lengthened, relaxed state rather than a shortened, tense one. Foot positioning deserves special attention. Using a light blanket instead of a heavy one allows the feet to stay neutral rather than forced downward. Some seniors benefit from wearing soft socks to keep the feet warm and supported. Others place a small pillow under the ankles to keep the toes from pointing down. These simple adjustments keep the calf muscles relaxed and lower the risk of cramping. Regular posture checks before falling asleep can also help. Taking a moment to stretch the legs, straighten the feet, and ensure comfort allows the body to settle into a position that reduces tension. This habit only takes a few seconds but greatly improves the chances of sleeping through the night without painful spasms. Stopping the habit of poor sleeping posture removes one of the most direct causes of nighttime cramps. Muscles that are supported, lengthened, and aligned have less reason to spasm. By making small adjustments to position, seniors protect themselves from the sudden pain that interrupts sleep, allowing for deeper rest and greater comfort throughout the night. One of the most overlooked bedtime habits that trigger nighttime cramps is relying on caffeine or alcohol before sleep. Many seniors enjoy an evening cup of tea, coffee, or a glass of wine to relax, but these drinks can quietly increase the risk of muscle spasms overnight. Both caffeine and alcohol interfere with hydration, electrolyte balance, and sleep quality, creating the perfect conditions for cramps to appear. Caffeine is a stimulant that lingers in the body for hours. Even if consumed in the afternoon or evening, it can disrupt the body's natural rhythm. Beyond keeping the brain alert, caffeine acts as a mild diuretic, meaning it increases urine production and fluid loss. Seniors who already drink less water during the day may go to bed slightly dehydrated, and caffeine only worsens this state. Dehydrated muscles struggle to contract and relax smoothly, making them more likely to cramp during the night. Alcohol presents similar problems, though in a different way. While it may feel like alcohol helps the body unwind, it actually disrupts deep sleep and prevents full muscle recovery. Alcohol also dehydrates the body, especially when consumed in the hours before bed. For seniors, this dehydration combines with alcohol's effect on electrolyte balance, leaving muscles low in essential minerals like magnesium and potassium. Without these minerals, muscles misfire, and sudden cramps are more likely. Another issue is circulation. Alcohol temporarily dilates blood vessels, which may cause a feeling of warmth at first. But as the body processes alcohol, circulation slows and fluid balance shifts, leading to swelling in the legs or feet. This fluid retention, combined with disrupted electrolytes, irritates muscle tissue and increases the chance of spasms while sleeping. Doctors also highlight how caffeine and alcohol interfere with the quality of rest. Restorative sleep stages are when the body repairs tissues, balances hormones, and restores muscle function. Caffeine delays the onset of deep sleep, while alcohol fragments it, leaving the body less refreshed. Seniors who rely on these beverages before bed not only risk cramps but also feel more tired the next day, which worsens muscle weakness and recovery. The solution is not to avoid these drinks entirely but to change the timing and amount. Doctors suggest stopping caffeine intake at least 6 hours before bedtime. For those sensitive to caffeine, even earlier may be necessary. Herbal teas without caffeine are a safer alternative in the evening. When it comes to alcohol, limiting intake and avoiding it in the 2 to 3 hours before bed reduces the risk of dehydration and cramps. Drinking a glass of water alongside alcohol can also help offset some of its drying effects. Breaking the habit of relying on caffeine or alcohol before bed is one of the most effective ways to improve sleep quality and reduce nighttime cramps. Muscles remain better hydrated, electrolytes stay balanced, and the body gets the deep rest it needs to repair. For seniors, this small change not only prevents painful nighttime spasms but also supports healthier, more restorative sleep overall. Nighttime cramps are not just an unavoidable part of aging, they are often the result of small, repeated habits before bed. Going to sleep dehydrated, skipping stretches, sitting too long, eating heavy or salty meals, sleeping in a cold room, poor posture, and relying on caffeine or alcohol all quietly set the stage for painful spasms. The good news is that every one of these habits can be changed. By making small adjustments, seniors can protect their muscles, rest more comfortably, and wake up feeling stronger and more refreshed. Peaceful, cramp-free sleep is possible when you stop the habits that trigger the pain.